guys, Leicester have just absolutely battered Nottingham Forest by 4 goals to 0, and it could have gone differently, I guess. If Taiwo Awoniyi had, or Awoniyi, however you say it, Taiwo Awoniyi, if he had just taken one of his 2 chances, the one in the first half was the easier chance. It hits the post, but he's got to be finding the bottom corner for it. And the second one that he had in the second half, by this point Leicester are already 3-0 down, so it's game over. But he still needs to be dinking it over Danny Ward's in that situation. It's an easy chance because Ward's made his mind up for him. He's run off his line to the edge of his box. It's an easy chip. Ward saves it because Awoniyi tries to strike it past him, and Brennan Johnson makes a complete hash of the rebound. So it was just really wasn't clinical enough at all from Nottingham Forest. Leicester, it was a brilliant performance, and hopefully for them that it can kickstart their season, because it's been a poor season up till this point, only picking up 1 point before tonight, I think. And that was on the opening day against Brentford. So they're off the back of like 5 or 6 straight losses, I think. So it's been a poor start to the season for Leicester. We all knew that. It's been shocking defensively. But tonight it was a very good performance, and it was spearheaded by one man in particular, and that's James Maddison, who, despite Leicester's poor form, has been in brilliant form himself. He's got something like 14 goals and assists since the middle of May, which is incredible considering how poor Leicester have been. And he's a player who needs to be in the England squad. Let's be completely honest. He is too good not to be. And also what he is he's a player who England don't have anyone else like him. He's a proper number 10. England, despite all these good attacking players they have, like Foden, Grealish, Mount, and I'm sure there's others that can be named, they don't have anyone who is a proper old-fashioned number 10, like a goal scorer and just an out-and-out creator. Grealish is someone who likes to drift in from the left. Mount is more of like it's hard to describe what Mount is really. He's more of just like a general attacking midfielder. Foden, similar to Grealish, can sort of play anywhere across the front line, whereas Maddison is best when he's got a striker in front of him, picking up the ball on the edge of the box, either sliding passes through to the wingers or strikers, or just taking shots off himself. The first goal had an element of luck to it, of course it did. It wasn't, a stunning shot, but it took the deflection and went top corner. Leicester, I think they deserved it, because Forest had the chance 2 minutes before that, Awoniyi's first chance, and it was very much against the run of play, that chance. And Leicester doubled their lead within like 2 minutes. Harvey Barnes getting the second, brilliant strike, cutting in from the left-hand side, hits it with his right foot and nestles into the bottom corner. And Maddison made it 3 before half-time with another excellent free kick, wrong-footing Dean Henderson. To be fair, the 3 players Leicester had in front of the Forest wall did their jobs brilliantly, moving sort of like the way you wouldn't expect them to move, so that Dean Henderson is wrong-footed. That's a brilliant tactic implemented by Brendan Rodgers. And they got the 4th towards the end of the game. By this point, both teams just sort of stuck. Well, Forest just sort of stuck the white flag up a bit, and it came from Maddison down the right hand side this time. Just plays it across the goal, and a superb flick by Pacy, who came on off the bench. And it was Jamie Vardy's first game back in a while, and I think that just gives everyone else like that added boost of confidence knowing that he's back in the team. He looked a little bit rusty at times. Certainly his finishing wasn't the best, but he just gives the team something that you don't get from Daka or Iheanacho when they're in the team. So yeah, that's a massive plus for Leicester. But yeah, it was a really good performance from Leicester all round really. Dewsbury Hall played well. Castagna and Justin at fullbacks played well. Evans and Fass in defence looked solid. And Danny Ward wasn't really tested. There were a couple of shots towards the end of the game, but there really wasn't that much that he had to do other than a couple of one-on-ones maybe. But Forest, we need to talk about them once again. It's just another game where they look just like, you know, that meme of when there's a hole in a brick wall and someone's tried to fix it by just like shoving as many brick walls in as unneat and tidy, unneat as possible and untidy as possible. That's what I was meant to say in the first place. It's sort of like that. Like they had so many gaps in their squad at the start of the season. They've signed 20 players, and not all of the players they've signed are sort of players that you ideally want to be bringing to your team. Like there are a few players who are of the wrong age, have got experience, but don't come across as the sort of personalities you want in your squad. Like Serge Aurier, it's not what you really want. Same with Jesse Lingard, I don't think. Yeah, it's not looking too good. We're yet to see how good Remo Freuler is going to be. And for me, the one player I've noticed who Forest seem to miss a lot is their summer signing, Nia Karte in defence, because he was the one player who was holding their defence together in the first few games of the season, because they actually picked up 4 points from their first 3 games, Forest did. So they had a decent start to the season, but since then it's been terrible defensively, and that's down to 2 things. Steve Cook, I don't think is really Premier League level anymore, and Kiarte's not a centre back, full stop. So the defence really isn't good enough, and they seem to have a bit of same problems that Wolves have. They don't create enough chances, and when they do, they're not clinical enough. I think that there were more than one occasions tonight which showed that. So that they need to fix that and quick, because outside of Wanyi, they haven't really got any other strikers or out-and-out strikers in their squad. They've got Emmanuel Dennis to bring on from the bench, but any sort of system they try at the moment, it's not working. What they need to do is they need to pick a system and sort of stick to it, if that makes sense. Because if you keep chopping and changing, which they are doing every single game, like tonight was the first night Steve Cooper's tried Morgan Gibbs-White and Lewis O'Brien in a 2-man midfield, and Gibbs-White he's an attacking midfielder. You don't want him as one of your workhorses in midfield. He needs to be he needs two midfielders behind him to do the work and allow him to get on the ball. So yeah, it's not looking at all good for Forest, and they need to start picking up points soon, else it's going to get very bad for them very quickly. They've got 4 points from 7 or 8 games now, so they're as it stands, they're getting half a point a games, which means they'll finish on 20 points as it stands, which is almost a certain relegation. So yeah, they need to change, and quickly. But I think Steve Cooper's capable of doing it, but he just needs to identify which players are crucial to being in the starting 11. I think there's a few that he knows are going to be in it. Nico Williams is one, Scott McKenna. I'm not sure why Worrell didn't play tonight. I think he's decent, so I'm not sure why he wasn't playing. Brennan Johnson's obviously going to be in the starting 11. I personally have O'Brien in there. Renan Loddy hasn't really impressed me since he's come into the Forest team. I thought in the first few games, Toffolo looked quite good at left wing back. So I think if he can come back into the starting 11, that would be a plus for them as well. But yeah, they need to get points on the board, else they're doomed basically. But anyway, it's looking good for Leicester. Well, based on tonight's performance anyway. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.